In the last episode I explained that I'm going to purchase a car for £1,500 that would be perfectly suited as a first vehicle. I also made a list of 10 possibilities, made up of 3 reliable cars, 4 popular cars and 3 that were my alternative choices. In today's episode I'd like to have a quick think about financing and where to buy your car from. I was extremely fortunate that my parents purchased my first car for me. It was an E-Reg red Vauxhall Astra that was an ex-company car with quite high mileage, but it had been looked after properly. Without this support I wouldn't have been able to afford my own car, as I was a YTS footballer, earning approximately £35 a week back in 1991. That equates to only £80 a week in today's money. There are obviously some lucky people who are also going to have their first vehicle purchased for them without any financial burden to themselves, but this is not the norm. The sensible amongst you may very well have some savings, but I would strongly advise never to spend everything you have on a car purchase. Maintenance is something that gets overlooked, but it is something that I am going to go through in a future episode. But you need a contingency fund in case anything breaks and it needs fixing. Knowing how expensive cars can be to fix, I would try and have at least £1,000 for such emergencies. Having savings at this early stage in your life is difficult though. Wages aren't high and there are many things to spend your money on. Perhaps you've been paying for driving lessons also, which even at one a week can equate to £160 a month. This on its own could finance a nice car, but don't forget there's a large chunk that you have to be paying for insurance. As we found out last time, insurance quotes ranged from £2,972 to £4,642 for the year depending on the vehicle, but that was if you'd pay for the insurance annually and not month by month. If you take this month by month option, the final overall amount may very well be significantly higher. Insurance companies will often add significant interest onto the amount if you pay on a monthly basis, but they will also charge you a cancellation fee if you decide to pay for it in full and then have to terminate the insurance part of the way through the year. Organising a loan through your bank could be the cheapest option to finance both your car and insurance in one, allowing you to spread the cost over 12 months. The rates will be often significantly lower than the insurance, and in a lot of cases lower than the car dealer can offer. If you wish to pay off the car over a longer term though, things may get a little more complicated. Also, getting car finance is not as easy as you may think sometimes. You don't necessarily have to have any bad credit history to be refused. It can also become a problem if you don't have any credit history. I'm no financial expert, but it is important to start building up credit history from an early age. Being on the electoral roll and having a bank account are 2 important steps, and if you've opened a bank account and are managing it well, the bank may also be willing to give you a credit card. If you do get one, it's really important to pay it off on time and in full each month to improve your credit score. Even if you're not eligible for a credit card, it might be worth taking out some form of small credit, for example, a mobile phone contract or store card. These are usually easier to get accepted, but you can still demonstrate your ability to pay the bills on time and be financially responsible. If this has happened prior to your first car purchase, it will stand you in good stead to get the best possible deal. Just remember though, never to take out credit on anything you can't afford to repay, because if you did default, it would have large consequences for you in the future. At the end of the day, purchasing a motor vehicle is a luxury and there are much more cheaper and more eco-friendly options. If you are insistent on purchasing a vehicle though, you do have a few options on where to buy it from. If a friend or family member is selling a car, you may very well know a big part of its history and how it's been looked after. But would there be issues if the car broke down? Would the friend or family member's relationship be put under strain? You can often pick up a bargain in this situation, but this is a tough one that should be taken on a circumstantial basis. Buying from a member of the public may offer you a cheaper option compared to what you may find from a dealer, but if the car has any issues, you won't have as many rights as a customer. Effectively, if the car that is sold to you by a member of the public is, as described in the advert, fit for purpose and of an acceptable quality, any problems are your problems. Buying from a dealer may cost you a little bit more, but you do benefit from additional legal protection. The dealer is responsible for any misrepresentation or defects on the vehicle when it's sold, but if you are made aware of these prior to purchase, they may not be liable. The buying option that comes with the most risk, but possibly the lowest price, is from an auction. For me, these are best left to the professional traders or the very well informed. It's not something that I would ever feel confident in doing. I think I will be purchasing from a dealer or a private seller. I did say at the end of the last episode that I would cut my choice from 10 to 3, so here it goes. My 3 alternative choices were the most expensive to insure, and as we've seen, this is the biggest cost so far, so it has to play a large part of my decision. So the Volkswagen Polo, Honda Civic and Toyota Yaris have been excluded. There are still many other factors that we need to look at which will help our choice, and I will be considering these in further episodes, but at this point, my final 3, which still may change if I find a perfect car, have been made simply on my preference. These are the Renault Clio, the Mini and the Ford Fiesta. The styling of the Toyota Yaris and the Hyundai i10 at this price point and age we're looking at doesn't float my boat. I do like the Swifts, but there are less examples to choose from and the courses are plentiful, but I just preferred my 3 choices more. I would always advise driving any choice you're potentially going to make before your final purchase, as this is the most important factor in my opinion. This is the point in the series where my choice and your choice could go down different paths. However, there are many things that need to be taken into account that are simply personal preferences. In the next episode, I'm going to be looking at maintenance, running costs, and plenty of other things. Keep safe everyone, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.